Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Dela's Voice. Do you know the best part of what I do here is that I get to hear fantastic stories, real life stories of people with, pain, struggle, love, life, and how they have transformed their lives. And today they are impacting the world in such a powerful way. I'm forever grateful to have this opportunity and this platform. Is absolutely my passion to do this. Today, yet again, I have another fantastic story for you. I have two amazing people who are no stranger to their own life of pain and struggle. But you know what happened? They've changed their lives. And by some miracle, they come together and they have this amazing power. They have made it their life purpose to change other people's lives for the better. What they do is to bring wellness, recovery, and hope. And that's exactly my message. So I hope you stay with us and hear the fabulous story of Alice, Sinohui, and Michael Post. So please help me welcome Alice and Michael, the powerful superheroes, which I have the pleasure of interviewing today. And here they are. Hi, Alice. Hi, Michael.
Hello.
So nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's nice to be
Likewise.
here.
What were you doing just now?
What we do.
I want to tell you the truth. We give honor to each other because sometimes we want to wring each other's neck. So instead of getting all, if we push a wrong button or something happens before we go online, even when it's our own videos, we give each other honor.
We do that
And we
regardless.
remember, that's why we remember that it's not about us. Every time, no matter what video we're doing on our own or if someone's interviewing us, we always give each other honor.
Wow. I mean, I can know of so many people who can do that, honestly. I mean, wouldn't it be great if I work with my husband? So, I mean, that's hard, right? That's a story on its own. But imagine if before we started work, we just took a minute and gave thanks to each other.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, honestly, you guys, thank you. So can I just give thanks to you also for being here? So grateful to hear your story. I mean, I read your bios and I was just flabbergasted. You have touched so many lives. Thank you so much for being willing to share your stories on Dela's Voice. It is absolutely my honor. So if you don't mind, we're going to start by giving people a little bit of a background story of each of you and where you started and what happened to you and a little bit about your struggles and trials, because that sort of story is what people can connect to, because we all have those pains inside. So thank you. Can we start with Alice? No offense, Michael, ladies first.
Of course.
Thank you, Dela. And yes, little bit. You said little bit, so I need to remember because I get passionate and sometimes I want to give everything. A little bit means that I do what I do. I was asked just recently, why do you do what you do, Alice? Why? And it just goes back to knowing pain. And when someone knows physical, emotional, mental anguish, that you feel that you're in a prison and you can't get out, I've known all sorts of pain. So when I was able to come out of that pain, it doesn't mean that I'm totally, well, we all grow. And there's things that I learned every day about myself. So growing up, I was abused as a child. I was sexually abused from the age of 4 to the age of 10. And then I get married at 16, and I think it's my Prince Charming. I think it's my Prince Charming, and I just keep, going along, hoping everything will be great. A month after I get married, I am abused physically. For 5 years, I am beaten, and it wasn't just a slap on the face. So then I stay married for 35 years until I get cancer, and then I realized that because of the cancer, it was my blessing. When I'm told I have 3 to 6 months to live, I decided I did not want to die an abused person. So by then I had met Michael. He had tried to help me back then with my marriage, and it was just not working. So I made the decision to leave the marriage and take care of myself. So I started doing this, which this means helping other people help themselves. I just bring hope, and that there is a solution. There is a solution to the prison that we feel we are inside of ourselves.
Thank you for that story. And I want to ask you something. Okay, this is what I picked up is that it's like your body was trying to tell you something, and that's what you said. You said it's like I didn't listen, and my body got cancer to make me realize that I needed to change something.
Yeah.
Do you think is that kind of what you were saying?
Yes, thank you, Dela. That's a huge correlation, because before the cancer, I started to suffer from a lot of pain in my body, and I couldn't explain. And doctors couldn't find what was wrong. CAT scans and would do everything. And if it's not your thyroid, well, maybe it's fibromyalgia. And they would just shoot at whatever they could think of, because nothing would come back positive in my body until the cancer. But I do realize now that I've crossed over into a better side of being able to see. It doesn't mean that, like I said, we all have our struggles, but for now, at least I know enough to love myself to not let that happen again. So I need to hear my body, and my body was taking the brunt of it. Not just the physical blows, like I said, being abused physically for 5 years or plus. It was also the mental and the emotional. But then I come to realize it's really part of it me as well. I allowed it and I enabled it because I was afraid. I wasn't just afraid of being beaten, because I already knew what that felt like. My brain had convinced me that I was born to be abused, because that's all I ever knew. As I opened my eyes at 4 years old and I start to have all this happen to me, the brain convinced me that that was my part in life, and I had no choice. Now that I know I have a choice, sometimes it's challenging not to abuse myself and allow myself to have people, even something as easy as when someone asks you for a ride and then they have you waiting for half an hour. That's not being nice to you, right? But we take those things as subtle. We think, oh, that's not important. You can get over that. But no. So I do realize that my body kept telling me, but the fear of what people would say, the fear of judgment, because I was a Christian in the Christian church. I didn't want to leave my husband and be seen as a bad woman. That was basically my biggest setback, was what would people say about me and about him. I wanted to save his testimony as well.
That's amazing. Can I just tell you something similar that happened to me? And that was my breakthrough. I always say that was my spiritual awakening, was that for the longest time, I was living in fear and doubt and people pleasing and seeking validation and all these things. And then all of a sudden, I got really sick, and it was unexplainable, and it was really bad. I really thought I was going to die. And it took that to wake me up. And so I totally get it that our bodies finally protest and say, listen up. Something's got to change.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that, Alice. Thank you. Michael, thank you so much for waiting so patiently. Can we hear about your backstory? I mean, it's quite unbelievable in itself. I mean, what a miracle story that is.
First of all, thank you for this great honor and this great opportunity to continue to allow us to do what we love, and not just share our story, but as I like to say, is when I share my testimony, it's really an invitation for people to see that there is no excuses. We make the excuses. And the one thing that I desire to say is, first of all, I couldn't be where I am, and I wouldn't be as successful as I am if those people really didn't trust us to do their work. So it's not just us, those people that you've heard about, it's really giving them the honor that they stepped into the courage that they have always had. So first of all, I could just speak for myself, but because we've been so successful as a school is because we've manifested those students that are ready and willing and desiring, like you said, to transform their lives.
Yes.
What we would desire to do is not wait for people to have to go through a crisis
Yes.
to do so. So
Yes.
that being said, in a nutshell, I come from a very hardcore reality, if you want to say, in the world's eyes, but I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. I come from drugs, I come from gangs, I come from violence, I come from being incarcerated from the age of 13 and loving it so much to earn a reputation in prison as, tough and all this stuff. And from there, I started using my time. When I went to prison, in a nutshell, I wanted to study the government so I could become a greater criminal. And when I studied the government, I realized it's all on vibration. And that's what got me on this whole vibrational awareness thing, because it's as long as we're in fear, we're going to be able to easily be manipulated because we don't tap into our intuition, our clarity, our awareness that we all have, and we're all free right here, right now. We're all free. That's an illusion that you're not free. Wherever you're experiencing, wherever you are, don't lie to yourself no longer. Get out of your head, step into your heart, because you are free right now. Just the fact that you can make a choice, you're free. So that being said, I started, researching myself and studying myself, and then I realized how powerful I was. And then I started getting into the enlightenment, the spirituality, and I studied myself for so long. So I went from negativity, what people call negativity, I went into positivity. So I went from one paradigm to another paradigm. But then I got lost in that paradigm, and I didn't realize why I was still not happy. So then when I realized, and I meet my amazing wife, which you're going to hear the story, is I realized it's about living it. Because we can study all our lives, but if we don't live it, we'll never awaken the true inner knowing, which is gnosis, that we have within ourselves. And that's where the word knowledge comes from. It's the knowing from within. So when I started really applying those principles on myself, I realized that I never loved myself. And I always felt like I couldn't feel love. I even thought that I was meant to suffer and just save the rest of the people on the planet, because I thought I'd done so wrong in my life. So long story short, now I live genuinely getting to know myself better so I can be the genuine human being that I was born, designed, and destined to be. And that's all we desire to let humanity know. It's not about spirituality. It's not about religion. It's not about all those things. What it is, are you being a human? Are you being the greatest human you can be? Because that's the foundation.
I know that you place a lot of importance on authenticity and genuineness in your program, and we're going to get into that. But this is really amazing. So, the gist of what you're saying is that we're all really good, and we're all really know, right? We know. And deep down inside, we are free.
Yes.
But that we let fear blind us.
Yes.
And so that's why we become prisoners of our own self-limiting beliefs.
I would like to rephrase that, what you just said right now, because
Tell me.
we don't allow fear to blind us. We use all our power to create fear into a real person.
Say that again.
We don't let fear blind us. What we allow is using our consciousness, our awareness, our power to create fear into a personality. And it becomes so real that we give it justification and it continues to repeat itself. So
I can't pretend that I understood that. You have to explain that more clear. Okay, so here's what I say. If you explain it in a way where I can understand it, I promise you everybody else will understand too.
Thank you, Dela. Thank you, Dela. Okay, so for example, fear is only as real as we allow it to be. Because when we become present, we realize those fears were not really fears. They were perspectives from the past, what we got trained to believe, what we got indoctrinated from unconscious or conscious, our environments. So when we realize and we become more aware of ourselves, this is a superpower. This is the human, like the greatness of a human being. But we forgot how to be human beings. So my point is this, then when we awaken more to ourselves, then we'll awaken the sensitivity of our hearts that say that this is not real. See, the brain was designed to listen to us, but we become so accustomed to think that the brain is our master that we believe every thought we think.
Yes.
That's why I say we create this personality into a real either monster or an angel, but it's really us.
I love how you said we think and you put your hand on your heart and not we think, it's we think. It's
Yes.
like
Yes.
amazing. This is amazing. Okay. All right. Okay. I got it.
And the thing about it is, I can go deeper into that, but it's not going to be fair because we can't do it in one thing. But the thing about it is, we're going to talk about what the opportunity is for people to have that opportunity. If you don't even get what we're saying, it's okay. Just realize it's about loving you. The whole point that we come on these shows and we do our lives is we don't need humanity's love. I'm going to be very honest. We love humanity's love, but we don't need it. We don't need that validation. What we do need is for humanity to love themselves, because the more you guys love yourselves, the more we're going to feel that, and we're going to unite with that love. Just like we create a piece of paper into a dollar that basically makes us think that's what value is, when value is really who you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So how did I want to hurry this up so that we can get to the
Yeah.
good stuff, right? I mean, this is all really good, but this is the story that's going to lead up to it. So how did the two of you meet?
In a nutshell, because I know you guys take like an hour to share.
We
this.
met at a book signing party, and I wasn't supposed to be there, neither was he supposedly, but we were, and that's the first time I ever heard about meditation. Michael was sharing with a guest that was there, and I overheard that this girl was having issues with being abandoned as a child, which I was to a certain degree from my mother, raised by my grandmother, and so was she. So when I hear her story, I'm like, oh my goodness, I said, I can help you. Even though I was still going through my abuse in the marriage, I felt I could help her with the relationship with her mother. So I went and walked over to her, and she was talking to Michael, and I said, I apologize. I don't want to interrupt your time together, but I have a message for her. And the rest is history, because we just started talking, and Michael shared about meditation, and that's when I realized I need something different in my life. I had already tried to get a divorce 5 years before, but it didn't happen. I came back, and then struggling through the marriage, needing something within myself, and I kept blaming the marriage, but it was really me. And so we became really good friends. I meet his mother, who is a Christian, and so was I at the time, practicing Christianity and being faithful in the church. So I wanted to talk to her and her to me, because I'm learning something from her son that she didn't even believe, that meditation wasn't of God. So we met there, and neither of us ever imagined really that it would lead to us getting married. Never in my life.
I wasn't looking for love when I.
No. When I was married, I was definitely not looking for that. I just needed to take care of myself, and I did through the meditation. Not until after the divorce, and then Michael decides to ask me to, marry him. Like, whoa.
Oh, that's a funny story. Can I inject
didn't
right there?
even expect that one. Go ahead.
Can I inject right there?
Go ahead.
One thing that's a funny story is that I said that I'll die before I ever get married. I manifested it because I had to die to who I thought I was, to be able to manifest this amazing woman. And even to continue the relationship, I basically died for her, because I said, you know what? I'm not going to get in the way. I'm going to die to the pride. I'm going to die to this. I'm going to die to the machoism. And I thought one thing too, Dela, is I thought I knew what strength was. I mean, because I've had, guns pointed to my head. I've been stabbed 20 times all over my body, returned the knife to the guy to finish the job. I had no fear of death. And the thing about it is when I met her, boy, did I know fear. I didn't know strength until I met her, because this is where we confuse what strength is, but I'll touch on that later. So go ahead. So I had to die to be able to realize that I could live with this amazing woman. And the more that I died for her, that I thought I was dying for her, I was really dying for myself. So then when I realized the benefit that I was getting, I was like, this is easy, because I'm going to be not a better person. I'm going to be a more genuine person from this. So I was discovering more for myself. So it's a win-win. Guys, take notes.
That's the only way to do it. That's the only way it can work, right?
Right?
It's a win-win. So now you get together and you decide to start this amazing movement. Okay. But let me ask you, at the basis of your teachings is meditation, correct?
Correct.
Yes and no.
Yes.
Okay. So explain that a little bit. What do you mean yes and no?
I'm
Yeah,
going to explain my version of it
Okay,
and see
go
how
ahead.
it goes. We both agree on many things. Again, our backgrounds are different, but we both came from the Christian church. So even though Michael was rough and tough in gangs, he still had a Christian foundation within his heart. He just refused it. So when I came into the picture, this was even before I married him, I wanted to help him. What I wanted to do was give back to him because he helped me transform my life. He helped me take off that mask of self-victimization. So when that happens, I'm like, I need to help him help other people like he helped me. I knew no psychiatrist could help me, no pastor, nobody could ever help me. I needed to help myself. And that's where he put the responsibility. He says, don't keep blaming your husband. Don't keep blaming the people who hurt you when you were a child. Don't keep blaming the church. It's your responsibility. And I just wanted to like cry and hide under the table when we were studying because I'm like, it's not my fault. But then I realized little by little that yes, it was my manifestation, my doing. So long story short, the reason why we do have meditation, it is a tool. It's not the destiny, but it is a tool that we use because people say, I want to meditate. I want to meditate. And they think it's just going to meditate and escape into the meditation, but there's no responsibility.
That's it.
Kind of like the Christianity. And I love all walks of life. I don't care what label they have. But in my case, Catholic or Christianity was, oh no, unless you know, Jesus died for you and you have to believe in Jesus or you're not going to be saved. But it takes responsibility from the person. So most people go to church and say, oh, God, forgive me for my sins. But then they go back and they keep beating on their wife. They keep lying or cheating. They don't really change. So the responsibility isn't us. So meditation is our tool. Per se, you go into meditation, and I know Michael can elaborate more, but when he used to meditate, he would meditate to escape and he wanted to be somewhere and do something with meditation. And then I come along and I'm like, okay, but are you living it, Michael? Are you really living the meditation? I can escape beautifully into my la la land and go and fantasize all day. But if I don't know how to coexist out here and treat people the way I want to be treated, then what good is meditation? So we decided that we don't take our students right into meditation right away. We help them first with the thoughts because that's where the prison is. If you remember, Michael said he was in prison and he at least knew he'd get out in 3 years or whenever. The prison I was in, I really did not think there was a way out but death.
Yeah.
That's the worst prison because my prison was easy.
Yes. So really, I mean, when you talk about pointing the finger at everything and everybody and the government and your family and whoever abused you, right? And the way you grew up, there's no power in that. There's right because you're not taking responsibility. But you're saying what helped you was that you found that responsibility.
Well, there is a power in that, and that's why we teach. Okay, when we say we teach meditation, we basically remind people of what they already know. Because when we because all I did is I told her to follow her heart, and let me give credit where credit is due. Because I call her Allie. That's my love, dear, beloved name for her. But her name is Alice. So for those of you, so you don't get confused, Alice, okay, she was doing her work since she was a little girl. That abuse caused her to question reality. That abuse caused her to go into a closet, close her ears, and go into herself and say, there's got to be something more than this. There's got to be something. This is not my life. She was meditating without even knowing how to meditate. So this is what I desire to share for the viewers is all of us do our work as kids, but we forget how powerful we are. So bringing it back to meditation is all of the world meditates. Most of the world is meditating on the illusions, on the fears, and the confusion, and then we reciprocate and we contribute to the illusions of the world. Because meditation is just putting your energy, your focused attention in what you think is your reality. So why not put it within yourself?
Oh my God, it just hit me. Like I've never thought about this before, because the word meditate really means to bring your attention to, like to focus on something. And we never think of it in those terms. We always think meditation is like get still with your thoughts and stuff. Oh my gosh. I just
Dela,
had like this aha moment.
So
and that's just the beginning, because Dela, that's a key, because, okay, silencing the thoughts, that's great and all that, right? But the thing about it is, it's like, I mean, we just seen it happen right here on the camera, right? When you realize you're meditating already, you're an expert meditator. The world's an expert meditator. So when they think they're a failure, oh no, I can't meditate, I don't know how to meditate. It's like when we help them to realize that they are already doing it, it's just flip the switch and do it where it serves you, because when you serve you serve the world. This is why I do what I do, because I'm so selfish, that I'm truly selfless. I love helping people, not because of what I'm going to get, but because I love people, because I love myself.
That's really powerful. So by default, I mean, if we let it, this is okay. So correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to make sure I'm clear. So we can either meditate on fear, or we can meditate on love.
Yes.
exactly. So yes, you got it. So I'm going to step in and say that for more than my whole entire life, 35 or more years, I meditated on fear of dying, fear of being abandoned, fear of being beaten. And then when the beating stopped, then I was abused verbally and emotionally, but I'm like, oh, that's not too bad, because at least I'm not being hit anymore. So I convinced myself that's a step in the right direction, supposedly, but it was still abuse. It was still causing pain. So I meditated. I held on to that fear of so many things, and I was too sad, but really it wasn't sad. It was anger, because I couldn't speak my voice. So what I learned,
voice.
so what I that was voice. See, so
There's a reason for that.
what I was able to learn when I came into the meditation, the way Michael helped me in the beginning, was, you know what, you have the power. See, then when I got the power back, per se, I never even knew I had it. That's the worst part, is I never even knew that that's what I could do. He says, are you kidding me? Only someone as powerful as you could live through that. And I never went to drugs or alcohol. I never took anything for depression. I never even took aspirin or Tylenol. I was as natural as they come, because I used to believe I'm already a mess in my head. I already can't get my thoughts straight. Why would I want to add anything to it, right? But meditation, like you said before you got this realization, people take it as though, oh, I'm just going to go and relax for 15, 20 minutes, which is fine, because it helps your body. Yes, I'm not putting that down. It helps a lot. But what Samadhi takes it, the way that Samadhi works, is how do we take that one step further and saying, okay, I just left my 15, 20-minute meditation. Am I going to go back into the world and keep blaming the government, blaming my parents, blaming my spouse and my children? Or am I going to take what I found in that meditation? What did I feel? That self-love. I'm going to embrace myself with that, and that's what I'm going to take to the world. So in every relationship, him and I have to do it. There's times that we don't agree because we're married, and that's normal. But what do we do with that? Do we stew in it for a while? Do we meditate on that? Or do we come back to each other and apply what we already know? So a lot of couples don't know that. And it takes that inner responsibility.
That's a whole other part.
And in my case, and in my case, and I
because that right there.
But in
is,
my case, I did need to accept my responsibility. And when I do that,
and I didn't mean to stop you, sweetie. If you want to go into that, go ahead.
Okay,
because
okay.
I just said that's a whole nother. I mean, we love to help couples as well.
Every
So
subject.
That's another talk.
Yeah.
Yes, we definitely got to.
Every subject that you will talk with us, anytime you open a door with a question, Dela, let me tell you, there is an abundance of experience that both of us have together that we can make a class right here. So we don't have to catch ourselves.
Let me do a little pun on that one, because this is why we are here, Dela. If you want to know the creme of the creme, why Ali and Michael exist, is to empower humanity, because our voice is their voice. Because we're all one.
Yeah.
And the reason why we do what we do is because, and I mean this with all due respect, if the shoe fits to any of our viewers out there, guess what? The shoe fit for me a long time ago. What was I willing to do about it is the question.
Mm-hmm.
If the shoe fits, don't take it as an insult. Take it as a call to action. Okay?
Yes.
So how many copies do we have in this world? As a human being, we haven't evolved. Our cell phones have evolved more than the human. Our school system, the classes and everything, it's basically the same structure.
Right.
Everything that we see outside of ourselves hasn't really evolved when it comes to the human. So if we really think about that, it should cause us to wonder, why do we keep repeating the same thing? And the reason why, Dela, is because we haven't been invited to stop being copies and be genuine, original, self-guided, directed, leaded souls.
Authentic. Going back to what you said.
Okay?
being authentic.
That's what we're here to do. We don't want the like, what do you call it? The accolades for Ali and Michael. We love what we do. We truly love what we do. And as you read about us, we started from humble beginnings, and we did everything. We love what we do. Let's just put it that way. So my point is this: is that when we see someone come from a very confused place, because with us there's no good or bad. It's confusion and awareness. That is, if you want to know what fear and love is, Dela, we're going to concentrate it. It's going to be life transforming for the viewers right now. And I don't care if people say I'm giving too much. I don't care. I follow my heart. Okay? If people can meditate on what I'm about to say right now, their lives will be transformed forever. Okay, love is dualistic. So love is based on what you were programmed to believe love was, right? Fear is dualistic because fear was my friend. It kept me alive. Okay? So it's not one or the other, it's dualistic. So when we focus on what is fear and what is love, fear is confusion. Love is awareness. So if we can just focus on being more aware, that's being more self-loved.
Thank you. And I love it. And that's why you said, yes, you meditate, but then are you living it?
Yes.
So good.
And how do you live it, Dela? In the moment that you think you know, really you don't know. Surrender to that thought. Surrender to that belief, and you will awaken this intuition, this clarity that nobody can awaken for us. Nobody. It's ourselves.
So who comes to you guys?
Oh my God. Everyone and anyone. Our eldest student is about 85. And then we have other students in their 70s. And the youngest was probably officially, that's a student, probably about 12 or 14. But the people that come to us, and I know it sounds kind of funny, but
we have our own family of students.
But we get people who have tried everything, and we're the last resort.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because sometimes they've heard of us when it's not too bad yet, and then they're like, no, I'm okay. And then all of a sudden something happens. Oh my gosh, where are you guys? You know, and we tell them, don't wait until the pain is so bad. Don't wait until there's a crisis but we can't save them. See, it's going to be when it's divine. It's going to be when they're ready. And if they're not ready, they're not ready. We don't force anyone. We're here for everyone. Yes, in this entrepreneurial world of Facebook and all the social media, yes, we love to be here for those that are entrepreneurs, that are coaches. Everybody needs someone. You know, a doctor can't operate on himself, unfortunately. So we're here for leaders. We're here for our community. We love our community.
Everyone watching this is a leader.
Yes, and we
just because you don't have an entrepreneur company, that's a whole stigma that I really desire for us to really gravitate to right now, because so many people think they're not a leader because they don't have a company. You're leading your home. You're leading your family. You're leading your community. You're an example. You're a reflection. And I'm going to be a little bit more bold here. If whatever religion you are, what qualities are you reflecting of your belief?
Yeah, we're not here to change anything.
No, we're not here to change religion, but what we're asking humans to do is step into, because, I mean, if you think about it, all major religions, Dela, they all stand for one thing, but yet we're so separated and divided as human beings. Yes. We all stand for compassion, love, unity, peace, joy, and harmony, and wisdom. But why are we against each other? And then we wonder why this world doesn't advance, doesn't get to the next level when we can really feed every person on this planet. when we can really clothe every person on this planet if we would use all our resources. Why? Because we can become desensitized to believe it's not our problem.
Mm-hmm.
So we refuse the call of action within ourselves, because when you answer that call of action, it's going to automatically, if you want to talk about it, the side effects are going to be game changing, because you cannot overdose on genuine self-love. You can't. Everything else you can overdose on, but you can't overdose on genuine.
I love it. So that's what you help people to achieve, is genuine self-love. That's really cool. That's really cool. And I know that, and I think everybody's heard that until you actually genuinely love yourself, you cannot love anything or anyone really genuinely.
But nobody ever teaches us how.
No, it's true.
How. So we say we love ourselves, but until we really practice it, then we get to know, oh shoot, I didn't love myself. When we love ourselves enough to get out of bed and brush our teeth and shower and stay clean. But that's not all there is in life. It's not just the exterior. It's how much time and dedication do we give to our interior.
Right.
You know, we want to make sure we look good on the outside. And talking to the girls, right? All the women want to make sure their nails, their hair, their face, their clothes. But how many times do we really dedicate to how we are on the inside? And sometimes it's a little challenging, because when someone is very genuine and kind and loving, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what's her agenda? What does she want? Because it's too good to be true that someone can really be that nice and really be that
for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So really, truly, I mean, people come to you from a chaotic life, and they leave with clarity, and that's what you that's what you teach people. And I'm actually going to display this, because that's what we called our show.
Yeah. Thank you, Latara Gregu.
From chaos
to Latara Gregu.
And everybody can use clarity in their life. Everyone does. And so you have helped a lot of people. And I want to bring up some of the pictures of the people you have helped and you have worked with.
Before you do that, can I share something with you real quick?
Of course you can. Yes.
I just hashtag Vibillionaire Lifestyle, because I just wanted to inject that really quick, because that's what genuineness is about. Because the reason why we came up with the Vibillionaire Lifestyle is because you have your millionaire club and your billionaire club. But you have to have more than millions to get into the millionaire, more than billions to get into the billionaire. If not, you're not included. Well, here's a wake-up call. We're all vibillionaires. We all have this immense richness inside of us, a vibration. This is what I desire to invite all of your viewers to, get a hold of us and find out who we already are, because you don't have to work hard for it. And I'm not saying don't do your responsibilities. Of course, we come in this world for a reason, for a purpose. But if you don't realize how worthy you are, you're going to work all your life. You're going to try to validate yourself all your life, like you were saying, Dela, and you're never going to be or feel that worthiness that you are.
Vibillionaires.
Yes. And Dela, before you show the pictures, Michael did mention about our humble beginnings. And I just want to say that the pictures that I sent you, the majority of them were from those humble beginnings. Yes. I did that for a reason, because I don't ever want to forget where Michael and I came from. And when we started doing this, we didn't do it. We've never done it for the money. The pictures you will see are from us volunteering in Mexico at the rehab for the men and women.
Yes, you said that.
Yes, and so for the viewers out there, they're very tender to our hearts. So if tears come, please excuse us. Just saying, there's a warning, because they really touch my heart.
So I'm gonna show the video, and if we have to replay it, we'll do that again. But I want you to tell people a little bit about the stories and what you do.
Yeah, so here we are in Mexico, and this is a group of men at the rehab centers. And some of those men were in tears when they heard my story. I think I touched the men even more than the women. One of them actually said, "Help me, because I don't ever want to treat my wife the way you were treated." This is Michael, and how he would carry everything to take them water, to have a printer for their stuff. And here they are, holding their hands over their heart, learning how to love themselves for the first time in their life, realizing they have love. And here they are hugging themselves. Another one of our activities, we tell them, hug yourself, love yourself. And it wasn't easy. And here are girls, our precious girls, and we worked with them as well. Not as challenging as with the men. And here, this is one of the One of the men at the
The
centers that became a counselor after he took our classes, he was so well known. And here's some more of our students at the center individually.
Celebrating.
Yes. And this is one of our students here that came to visit from Detroit, Michigan.
Michigan, yeah.
And here we are preparing for our Nature's Inner Gathering that we do. Both of us trying to share on our phones diligently. This is a whole family that came to our Spanish session, our Spanish Inner Gathering in Nature, and brought the children. Yes.
Thank you.
And I would like to plug that in really quick, Dela, is every
Yes,
Saturday they can join us 8 a.m. We might be changing the time, so stay tuned because it's going to get colder. So more people will come in the afternoon, but because it's so hot, we do the Nature's Gathering early in the morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, English, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in Spanish. And wherever we go, and this is where I'm asking for a call to action. Every single one of you, and if you're open to as well, Dela, every single one of you that have any kind of stories at all to share about nature, juicing, plant medicine, grounding, essential oils, whatever stories you have, we desire to make the celebrity Mother Nature because it's not even about us. What good is it for us to succeed if nature falls apart?
Mm-hmm.
So every single Saturday, we're celebrating nature and we're asking people to step up and share with their children, share with their family, share with people that they know that nature is here and we need to honor and respect nature if we really desire to truly live the life that we were born to live. It's a relationship.
So that's just one of the programs that you have is
That's every Saturday.
And that's on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your Facebook handle is scrolling down below the post. It's your Samadhi School on Facebook, and people can join you there, and they can. So if they go to your Facebook page, I know that you have a phone number there. They can also connect you on your phone number. There's a bunch of information on comment section so that people can find you. So I want, okay, so let's talk about your program. So let's walk people through you have a 5-day challenge coming up. That's starting tomorrow for 5 days, right? And it's called From Chaos to Clarity. That's the name of the challenge. Yeah. Okay, that sounds so wonderful. Okay, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Well, this is finally the very first time we actually get to put what we would call meditation or samadhi in a bottle, because everyone, like you said, who comes to you? Just everyone and anyone, right? But in Chaos to Clarity, Latera, who also is such a dear, dear friend and student, she put this together for us so that we could help people know what samadhi is about. Yes. We've had people who do reach out to us and then they're on the fence. They're not sure. What do you guys really do? So every day we're going to touch different subjects that take you to the very last day where we wrap it up. There will be some guest speakers. We will have prizes. And that's inviting you to get to know yourself better, obviously bringing you out of that chaos.
Perfect.
Yes.
So that's every day for 5 days. What are the time requirements?
And well, at 9 a.m. we're going to be live. And that's what we actually have, if you want to call it a class with a talk, 9 a.m. where everyone that joined the group can come in, listen to the subject of that day. We challenge them. We leave them homework for that day. And then they go complete their homework throughout the day. And the next day they join in again. So for 5 days, it'll be a different topic every day. And we just give them little tidbits of who we are, what we are, why we do what we do. Kind of a little bit of what we told you here right now. But then it's also open for VIP if someone wants to come in a little bit earlier and talk with us behind the scenes or stay after the live programming. So if they have further questions. Now, some of them might be moved to taking the classes full blown. Others may just want to go after the challenge and do a 16-week course that we have coming up on the 30th of September. We're starting a 16-week course every Tuesday. That'll be every Tuesday. And that one is what we call our basic meditation classes. That'll give you just the principles of how we teach or remind you of meditation, take you through the 16 weeks. But again, we're open for anyone who'd rather have the one-on-one. We understand that in a group, sometimes it's not easy to open up about very personal things that you're going through. Yet others may feel comfortable because if they don't have the courage to ask something, maybe somebody else will. So we are doing the challenge first and foremost so that now humanity, Michael and I have been kind of quiet for too long, meaning that we volunteer, we work one-on-one in our community, we work one-on-one with other people, and we would post here and there. But Latera and her encouragement and us having that feeling too, it's time that we really step up, because this world needs now more than ever for something somehow to give you that hope that you don't need to go acquire anything. You just need to learn how to let go of all the chaos so that you can find that clarity within yourself.
That sounds wonderful. So that's 9:00 a.m.
Yes.
Where's your time zone?
Pacific Standard.
Thank you. Pacific Standard. And so that's for the next 5 days, starting tomorrow morning. And everyone can join this 5-day challenge. You guys? Okay. And then from there, if someone is wanting to continue, it's a 16-week program. And I mean, imagine what you can achieve in 16 weeks. Oh my gosh, I can just feel that. So what is it you guys like? And I'm going to ask each of you separately because this is so personal. What is the ideal scene for you, Michael? What do you dream of? What is it you envision happen idealistically?
What I see in my vision is that we as a human species or society, we start coming together. We see consciousness being reminded. Kids that thought that there was something wrong with them, that they thought that they were crazy, whether they're ADHD, Asperger's, autistic, or whatever the case may be, they realize that each of us have hidden, dormant, deep gifts and talents and abilities that just because we can't explain doesn't mean there's something wrong with us. And that everybody is given that place to be who they were meant to be, and that everybody is given the opportunity, and then more people would follow and listen and take the call to action to live their dreams, not as dreaming, but as a life, as a lifestyle. That is my vision, because that is where I see that when we are operating and manifesting from our source, there is no competition, there's only collaboration. And I think that that's what will take with this world from chaos to clarity.
It's beautiful. Thank you. Alice?
In a nutshell.
Thank you. And to be clear, you're asking me my idealistic results or expectation from this challenge, or of course.
Oh, I thought what?
No, from what you do. No. Just yeah. No, sorry. My bad. No, I wasn't specific enough. No, but your vision, your idealistic scene of as not just as a result of what you do, but what would make this a better world.
Okay, thank you very much. See, I needed that clarity. Make sure that I answered from my heart and my desire. Well, I go back to the origin of why I do what I do. And in my idealistic world, I would be able to see that those that believe, female or male, that believe that they are in a prison, they can't get out, that they suffer in loneliness, despair, they're at the end of their rope, suicidal, and sometimes maybe not even that far. They could still look really good on the outside and have the beautiful homes and the whole family and the picket fence and the whole 9 yards, but something is missing inside of them, and they feel that they're trapped, that they don't have a way to really be who they think they should be, or they don't even know. My idealistic world is that no other child has to suffer from abuse, no other woman has to suffer from being mistreated in any way, and that we could all come together without judgment, that we could be kinder to ourselves.
Thank you. That's such a beautiful world. Someone said, let's make this the most beautiful world so that when aliens come and visit, they'd want to stay.
know what, Dela, that reminds me of a picture. Now that you mentioned that, there's an alien they were about to land on the planet, right? They look at each other. You think they'll receive us with warm, with the warm welcome? They're like, they can't even get along with themselves, even in their own countries. What makes us think they're going to accept what they were here to bless the world with this great technology and this great love and awareness? They won't even accept us. So it's like, what are we missing? Because in reality, what are our children growing up in? We don't think about that. And it's not just even the mask that they're wearing. This is not the first time they feel shut up. They feel shut up because they can't even be what they feel. And if you think about it, when I see transformation, I always go back to the foundation. So many people want to get to this high level of like expectation that they're not even present for the forest, for the trees. And I believe that in order to transform this world, this is my dream, that we start being accepted in the educational system, from transforming our children's minds so that our educational system can raise leaders that know how to lead themselves. Because our president, our governors don't even know how to lead themselves, but yet they're credited to lead us. And I mean that with all due respect.
So I want to ask you this, because I'm a firm believer that that we need to teach our kids things like this. Like I call these life skills but they're missing from our core education curriculum. And so we teach them geography and history and all that good stuff that they may never use, but we don't teach them the stuff that they're going to need. And then they become like me or you. Like I didn't realize what I had to do till I was 45. Like at 45, I woke up and I needed so much help. So why don't we, thank you. Why don't we, right? What, wouldn't that be such a wonderful world if we
just having this conversation? Let me say something, because one thing I know about energy is that when we speak about it, we're actually sending ripples, and people's brains are starting to sense it. They just don't know what, but it's going to affect their actions. It's little things like this that truly make a big difference. We might not be able to see the tree grow, but as long as we plant the seed, and this is the one thing that I want to share, is we forgot the sacredness and the trust of life. Just like when you said, when we did this in the beginning, I'm going to go back full circle. This is what I do when I drink my water, and I don't share this. But think about this. If we're drinking our water automatically, we're not appreciating. And in water, this has already been proven, water holds memory. So your water can become your own poison. We're made of 85% water. So what are we doing with our own lives? Are we poisoning ourselves? Or are we, I can't say curing, are we revitalizing, rejuvenating, rewiring, transforming ourselves from the inside out? Just like you can transform water. This is chia and lemon water. Just like I can transform every single chia in this water, it's not about just eating healthy. It's about reprogramming my brain to be sacred and reverent with everything that I do. And the more present I become, the more real it becomes for me. The more real it becomes for me, the more I become an example for others to see what's possible and what's real for them. And then they'll invite, and then they'll invite, and then they'll invite. And this is what we call word of mouth. But this is an example, as the heart is more powerful than the head. See, we've been trying to get people to change with their heads. Our heads only operate 6 or 3 feet in our radiance, right? The heart, depending on the discipline, it operates on the 30 feet, 40 feet, and beyond that they can't even measure. When people more train their will, they train their consciousness. You can step in a room, and that's why people say, oh my gosh, I feel that person. Yes. When people exercise who they are, they'll be known without even them speaking a word.
And that goes back to vibration. Why
that's the vibrillionaire.
Why we say, thank you, baby. Why we say vibrillionaire, because we know it's vibration. People say, I don't like the vibes in this room. Why? Because you feel it. And I thought something funny as you were talking about the aliens and if aliens would stay, but kind of funny because we're aliens to ourselves.
Yes.
We don't even know ourselves. And if you really stop and introspect and say, who am I? What is my purpose? What am I without the mask of pretending that I'm happy? What am I without the mask of pretending I'm the best school teacher, or the best principal, or the best whatever career? That's just a label. Oh no, shit. No, here we go. What?
Okay, this is what we've said time and time again, and it hit me in this moment. And this is also what we get. We get a lot of realizations like back to back to back, because that's the abundance of the heart.
So
This
what did
doesn't
you get?
come from
So
the
what
head.
did
This
you
comes
get?
from
So
the
what
heart.
did you get?
Just okay. So
Sometimes I don't want to open my mouth.
if you think about this, ask yourself this question: how much pressure, how much like determination does it take for you to prove to yourself that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy enough? Because you continue to wear these masks so that people can like you. That takes a lot of energy. I'm going to tell you what takes the littlest amount of energy, but it's super powerful, is what we remind people to do or teach. Is we remind people to let go. When you let go and you just allow yourself to be yourself, oh my gosh, the pressure comes off. The the just
The
the
judgment.
overwhelming, the chaos. The chaos.
Yeah.
It's just shut away.
Yeah.
But it's so complicated for the brain because the brain can't do it. The heart does it. The brain is designed to serve the heart, but we've been taught differently.
Yes.
We've been taught that the brain is the center of intelligence. This is wrong. This is why when we don't know what we don't know, we operate from the past. This is evidence. When we operate from the heart, we do things that we weren't even aware that we could do.
You guys, thank you. You know, one of my best teachers is Mayor Ezra, and I don't know if you've heard of him, but he always says, you are the spirit, and the spirit always knows. And he always says, you are perfect, and everything that's not perfect, it's not you. And I get that so much from what you're saying. One of his favorite saying is that you are the boss, that you're the boss of your, I mean, you know, you're so right in saying we always think the brain has so much power, but it's like, no, I'm the boss of my brain. And so that's what it reminds me.
Think about it, Dela. Think about that. Because we have so many students that talk to us and they're like, well, and they relate to powerful people who have destroyed a lot of things, right? Or people. And the thing about it is, when we tell them, because they're like, well, yeah, they love themselves because they said that they were unstoppable, that they were powerful. That love I don't want anything to do with. We're like, that's not love. That's what people confuse, that they think that people that, you know, succeed overnight and they do all these great things because they use people to get there. That's not love. If you're looking at that as an example of love, then you're being manipulated, but you're manipulating yourself. But if you look at people like the Dalai Lama and Muji and like your mentor, and I mean, great people that take the time to love themselves, you can see that they're natural in just what they do. They're not trying to be someone. They're not trying to do something. They're just doing what comes naturally, and they're just being themselves. That's love.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to encourage everybody, please check out Samadhi Meditation School and join the 5-day challenge. If there's something going on inside of you and you think, my life could be so much better, I could be in such a better place, check out how you can achieve clarity. I mean, it's so much better, so much better. Thank you so much, you guys. You are fantastic. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you so much for being here, for stepping out of your, I don't know, comfort zone. And I'm sure your struggles, you have lots of struggles every day to reach people, to get them to do the right thing for themselves, but you're still standing because you so believe in what you do. And so I appreciate you both. Thank you so very much. Is there anything else you want to add? Because I'm going to give you a couple more minutes.
I just want to add to this, because one thing that I desire for the viewers to know, when you asked me to share my story, I forgot one important part, is I meditated and I've proven to myself that I wouldn't feel pain. And that I wouldn't feel like pain and suffering. And I didn't feel pain and suffering. But I programmed myself so much to feel that I also prevented myself from feeling love. from feeling joy, from feeling life. So if you feel like, because you've been so good, but you always get the bad end of the stick, it's because you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. Do it for yourself. Because that's what I realized, is that when you realize that you are your number one fan and that you can trust yourself, meaning you can go inside here and say, you know what, I love you just for you. And think about this, because this is my takeaway. We say that, well, we lived a bad life and we've been through this, we've been through that. How much have you abused your brain? How much have you neglected the power that you've been given? How much have you used the tool that you were born with against you? But we blame everybody else, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Take the stand and take that responsibility and say, you know what? I love myself. And the brain is still working with me, for me. And make a radical shift in your life today. Because if you are taken from personal advice, I didn't want the help. I had people that will come to help me. I say, nope, nope, nope. You go do your thing. I know where I'm going. And I know how wrong I am. Thank you very much. I would never disrespect them, but here's my point, is I didn't want the help. But I had to be humbled so hard. I mean, it wasn't beautiful. But don't wait to that point. Don't wait till you lose everything to realize you have everything right now. Take a stand today. Take a stand for you. Because
Yes.
you're worth it.
Yes. Yes. Woo! That's so good. So good. Thank you. Thank you. Alice, did you want to add anything?
Just thank you from the bottom of my heart, and for everyone to give yourselves a chance. Don't be so hard on yourselves.
That's it. I agree with you. Don't wait too long, right? Don't wait too long. Don't wait till a disaster hits you. Because we're always waiting for universe to slap us around to wake up. Don't wait for that.
If you think about it, Dela, how many times do we say, I'm not willing to make a change to invest in me? But how much do we invest in other people because we don't think we're worthy? So what kind of investment are people making?
It's all right. You know, I could talk to you guys for another hour. I swear I could. But this is amazing.
Rain check.
It's honestly, yes, please. But one thing you said was so true. And I forget who said it, but he said, if I said the things I say to myself out loud, I would have no friends. And I feel like that's kind of what you said, because we abuse ourselves, right?
If people can hear our thoughts, it comes with the saying that says, would you treat your best friend like you treat yourself?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No.
Self-love.
But I'm going to tell you,
and there's more.
But I'm going to tell you from personal experience, my wife knows this, is resistance shows up in my life outside of me, of course. But when I go within my world today, it's like I have to have a lot of discipline to not want to envision all the greatness that I feel that's here. But I wasn't always there. And the thing about it is, it starts with one thought. It starts with one breath. It starts with one moment of awareness and building this discipline, because the truest form of meditation was to be able to see the sacredness in the most ugliness. Because when you realize that what you see is how you're creating it. So how many people are saying, oh my gosh, the world this, the world that? We're perpetuating, we're contributing by judging others instead of taking that responsibility and saying, oh, I see Trump on the news, and I'm not downing anybody. I'm just saying what I hear mostly out there. Oh, Trump this, Trump that. Why don't I transform and say, you know what? Trump is confused. I was there before. Let me feel love for him right now. And I can transform Trump's brain like that. And when more people to do that, Trump is going to make decisions that he doesn't even realize what he's doing because of the effect we have on him.
Or it's like, so what you said is this, so we can choose to meditate on what is going wrong in the world, but
Yes.
we can also choose to meditate on what we want,
But there's a very, and they're going to find out more about this in the challenge, okay? Because
Yeah.
I'm going to touch on this, is that when you see somebody that's doing something wrong, you check yourself, because it's a reflection. We don't just quickly judge them, right?
Yes.
That's what the brain is designed to do. It's designed to judge outside of ourselves because it thinks it's out there. It doesn't know we're in here. So that being said, when we see something that we're not happy with out here, that's where the skill of dying comes in, surrendering to that, meaning why is this coming up? Transforming that. And then once you transform that, see the beauty of it. So it's not just jumping from one extreme to the other, because that's what we've always done. It's taking responsibility, transforming that within ourselves, and then transforming the outer. And then that's when we'll affect change.
So you're going to teach all that during the challenge?
I'm here sitting very quietly saying, okay. But
This is what we do all day,
There's
Dela.
more. It can't
Like
stop.
we don't have no 9 to 5. We don't do, well, my wife, she dedicates herself to the juices. So if anybody's in Yuma and you're watching this, shout outs to the juice garden. My wife makes delicious all natural juices or essential oils as well. But here's my point is we dedicate ourselves all day, every day to this. We live and breathe this with each other. We live and breathe this with our families. We have meetings all the time. And for families, talk about it. Communication is key. So anyways, we're going to go into that in the challenge. So you guys want to know more? Because I can do this for hours, and she knows this.
Yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much, you guys. I want to thank you. I want to send you lots of love. And I wish you the very best. You are doing such a fantastic job in this world, and I want to send you all the love, all the energy. Please keep going and change lives and transform people. Bless you. And for the people who have watched this show, I want to also thank you for giving us your time, your commitment to you, to your wellness, to your recovery. And I hope that we were able to inform you, inspire you, and motivate you. Please share this talk with your loved ones so that they can also benefit from this. And sign up for that 5-day challenge. Thank you. So Facebook handle name is right there, going by Samadhi School. Find them on Facebook and join their challenge. Get some clarity in your life. Mwah! You guys stay on so we can debrief. For the people, thank you so much for watching another episode of Dela's Voice. I love you. I hope we sparked your soul today.